Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato with my co-host and colleague, Jacqui Tricarico. Jacqui, it says in your Chiron when you're on the air, special correspondent, one-on-one. Jacqui's got 8 different titles. She's the executive producer of Think Tank. She's the executive producer and co-anchor of Remember Them, and a special correspondent, one-on-one. Tell folks what you were doing as a special correspondent at the New Jersey Education Association Convention in Atlantic City, and what that has to do with Lesean Arrington.
Yes, we were both down there at the NJEA Convention this year, talking to so many different people, educators, keynote speakers, all types of people that we got a chance to connect with. And LeShaun was one of those folks. She is a part of this New Jersey labor management collaboration. I said, that's a mouthful. I really wanted her to get into it. She does a great job explaining it. And what the essence of it really is all about equal power between everybody that's under the branch of education, right? So those are our support professionals, our support staff, our educators, the principals, the vice principals, just everybody having a voice and feeling like they have a chance to have their voice heard. So she's been working really hard. It's this whole 5-year plan that she's doing with the New Jersey Education Association and New Jersey's public schools. To really get everybody on board to be a lot more collaborative in our
Hold on, Jacqui. The assumption is that collaboration, I'm not going to say it's not the norm, but that it's very hard and that people have to be taught, coached to collaborate.
Yep, and that's the work that she's doing along with several others on this team. And they're seeing that implemented in so many ways already. And that's not only just going to help with how they are educating the students and the students' experience within the schools, but also with staff retention and keeping our teachers in the classrooms. We've seen teacher shortage firsthand here in New Jersey, and we've seen it all over the country. And it's just so important to support our teachers and everybody else in the school districts to continue to do the great work that they're doing, because we need them, parents need them, our students, our kids need them, and we need to make sure that they're feeling heard and feeling appreciated. And this is one way that we can do it.
You know what's so interesting, Jacqui? When we talk about collaboration, it's such a, LeShaun is with the National Education Association, as you said. She's a fellow at the Labor Management Collaboration. So the word collaboration, I'm not going to get on this whole big thing about collaboration, but easier said than done. Like on paper, you could say we really need to collaborate. We need to share ideas. We need to listen to each other. We need to support each other. But because we have, I'm not going to get a whole thing on a whole thing about our team, but we have no choice but to collaborate with each other, because we're too small, or any school or whatever, to say, no, I'm just going to do my job. I don't need to collaborate. I'm just going to do my job. That doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't. And in so many different aspects and so many other different careers. And, LeShaun, too, you can see her commitment to this and her passion for this. And it stems back, too, and she talks a little bit about it in her interview. She has a vast variety of a background here. And part of that is being in the Peace Corps and seeing education in other countries. And, sometimes I think we take it for granted here that education is so important to us in our country and everybody has access to it. And that's not the case in so many other countries. And she's seen that firsthand. And that helps drive her to continue to do this work.
Finally, as we go to this interview with between Jacqui and Lesean Arrington, the expression, it takes a village, some people mock it. It's true, especially when it comes to education. It takes a village and it takes collaboration. Let's check out another terrific interview led by Jacqui Tricarico.
Hi, I'm Jacqui Tricarico on location at the New Jersey Education Association Convention here in Atlantic City. And I'm so thrilled now to be joined by Lesean Arrington. She is the National Education Association Fellow at the Labor Management Collaboration. A little bit of a mouthful, LeShaun.
There's a lot going on.
Well, we're going to get into that, because the Labor Management Collaboration, describe first for us, what is that and what is the goal of that collaboration?
Okay, the Labor Management Collaboration is when stakeholders, all of the stakeholders, in a school setting work together. You have the administrators, you have the staff, you have the school board, you have the community, you have the supervisors. We all work together as opposed to working separately. We have shared purpose. There's also shared decision making. There's also joint problem solving. So you work together because we all have different perspectives. Like a custodian's perspective is different from a superintendent's perspective, different from school board perspective. But when you put them all together, that provides the best educational opportunity for our students to have all those voices together.
For the students, like you said, for the educators, and when we're talking about coming together, that includes some advocacy groups, including the NJEA too, them working together instead of in silos. Talk about how you've seen that collaboration unfold and what have been some of the most interesting, important things that have come out of that, especially when it comes to the kids in the classroom.
Okay, I'm very excited because New Jersey and California are the only two states where it's on a state level. California has it within the Department of Education, but in New Jersey, we have the 4 education advocacy groups. So I'm gonna say them real quick. It's the NJASA, which is the superintendents. We have NJPSA, which are the Principals Supervisors Association. You have NJEA, which is the Education Association, and you have NJSBA, which is the School Board Association. So you have all of us coming together for this work to work.
And so seeing all those come together, and this is part of a 5-year plan, right? So it's been going on a couple of years now. We're in the 3rd year of this rollout plan. Mm-hmm. Tell us some of the things that you've seen firsthand happen in the classroom and within our school districts.
The thing that I've seen are members on all of those, their voice being empowered, because a lot of times people think that their voices are not being heard. So actually seeing the things that members from all different groups put into the space and seeing that they're being acted upon, that they're improving student score, they're increasing staff retention, because when the staff feels that their voice is being heard, it makes them want to participate more. It makes them happy to be there. And also I've noticed from the administrator side, they don't feel like they're alone in this. They feel like they have other people that help them with solutions. And from the student side, because you have all those voice inputting, their level of education is improving because everyone is doing the best that they can, or everyone is contributing for their education.
And you talk about teacher retention, right? And we have
staff. It's not only teachers.
Right. There's so many layers.
It's staff retention as well.
Yeah. And we're seeing a shortage in a lot of different areas when it comes to our schools. How do you see this collaboration pinpointing that as one of the areas that it really needs to focus on, and staff retention and just getting more teachers, educational support staff in the classroom and in our schools that we need?
Okay. Part of the reason staff retention is low is because educators don't feel valued, right? Yeah. They feel like their voices are not being heard. So this brings them into the problem-solving process. It's not someone is dictating them and telling them what to do, because with the collaboration, everyone has an equal voice. Everyone has equal power. So it's not a hierarchy. So if I'm in a school building and I have people who think they have power over me, then I might not feel comfortable to stay.
Right.
But if I'm there and I know I have equal power, like my power is the same as the superintendent, the same as the principal, I'm a custodian, like I know we have that equal power and I know my voice is being heard. So that, and it's not only those people, it's everyone that's a part of it. So that helps.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So tell me too about your background and kind of what led you to this new role. You were an educator 25 years, ESL in New Brunswick School District. You've traveled the world. You've seen education in a different light in places like West Africa, Haiti. How has all of that really shaped who you are today, the educator, and this new position for you?
Well, the Peace Corps, I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I could go on forever for that, but I won't. But I will say when I first became a Peace Corps volunteer, I don't want to say a typical American. I didn't really realize the value of education until I lived in other countries where education wasn't free. Like it wasn't your right. And
especially for women in a lot of places, girls, little girls.
So it really showed me how important, like I say that In some of these places, education is a luxury. And for here, we take it for granted. And so that is what made me want to go into education. Because it's so, I don't know what to say other than this. So, because without education, and I don't even want to get into the politics of how people are trying to take education away.
Yes, yeah.
So
That is a whole
education
nother-
is the number one key, because without education, you have nothing. That is the only thing someone cannot take away from you. They could take away your money, they could take your this, but they can never take your education. And with your education, the sky is the limit. And I will briefly talk about how I got into labor management. So that brought me to ESL because I had to learn different languages when I went to other countries. And I realized how important it was to know the language of your country. So that is why I taught ESL. The reason I got into labor management collaboration, and it's even crazy that I'm even sitting here telling you this story, because one thing I'll backtrack a little bit was labor management collaboration is not an us against them thing. It's a we thing.
Yes.
And so
We need a lot more we things in our country.
Exactly. It's not the administration, it's a we. And we're here for the students. So I was the biggest us against them person until I went to a conference and we talked about the staff retention, improving student grades, and interacting with different people that were already in the collaboration, and seeing that at the end of the conference, all the New Brunswick was sitting shoulder to shoulder in a circle. Because when we first went to that conference, the administrators was at one table, we were at the other table. The union. We didn't even talk to each other.
Just the way people were sitting and being presented,
We weren't
shifted
talking.
and changed.
Exactly, but once we attended and we saw how we sat together and we said, we're gonna make this work. And it's like night and day, because I will use this when I was association president. Before labor management, you would go into a meeting with administration and you're just tense, but after it, because you have that common language, you have that common goal, you have that shared purpose, you share decision-making, joint problem solving, there's no more tension, because you know you're going in there to achieve something, to get something done. You have your perspective, I have my perspective, they have their perspective, let's put it all together, and let's get it done. As opposed to, this is my way, this is your way, we're not gonna see each other.
And making sure that that's reflected in the leadership as well. Yeah, it is a we, but the leadership presenting that in that way to make sure that everybody does feel like they can be heard, they can voice their
Exactly.
concerns, their opinions, their ideas.
And you have to make it safe. It has to make it safe, psychologically safe, because a lot of people are nervous about expressing their feelings. So
Especially in today's educational climate.
and it takes a while. It takes a while to build trust. I saw a study that showed it takes 7 acts of you saying you're going to do something and you do it before you even begin to trust. And that's the biggest thing with labor management collaboration. Because we're so used to my way, your way, it takes a while to build that trust. But once you build that trust, it's just phenomenal. And the thing is, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it's part of this whole plan that you're helping to make sure gets done right. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about what you're doing to make sure that our teachers, our educators, our staff in all of our public schools, as well as the children, the most important part, are being taken care of. And we're doing the best that we can as a we.
It's a we thing.
It's a we thing. I like that. It's a we thing.
Yes,
Thank you so much,
definitely.
LeShaun.
Thank you so much for having me, Jackie. I appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 30 years in public broadcasting. Funding has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan, Holy Name, Rowan University, Investors Foundation, New Jersey Sharing Network, PSEG Foundation, Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and by NJM Insurance Group. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, and by BestOfNJ.com. To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
New Jersey is home to the best public schools in the nation, and that didn't happen by accident. It's the result of parents, educators, and communities working together year after year to give our students a world-class education, no matter the challenge. Because parents and educators know that with a shared commitment to our public schools, our children can learn, grow, and thrive. And together, we can keep New Jersey's public schools the best in the nation.